are watching college soccer on the ACC Network Extra. The day started with rain, but now the sun is out on the beautiful campus of Notre Dame as we are set for a non-conference matchup between the Fighting Irish and the Bowling Green Falcons. I'm Nick Baldessari, alongside me David Korzanowski. And David, the Irish started with the ACC with Boston College and then beating NC State over the weekend, now Bowling Green.
Yeah, Nick, if you take a look here, we got the national anthem coming up, and we'll come back right after.
A beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Nick Baldessari and David Korzanowski, as we alluded to. And David, the Irish now ranked number 1 in the country, led by head coach Bobby Clark.
Bobby Clark, such a dominant force here for the Fighting Irish soccer team. He's been at the helm for a while now, and why not? He won a championship with them in 2013. And now for 3 straight seasons, Notre Dame has got to number 1 in the country, starting the season 5-0. And it's not just Notre Dame in the ACC. The ACC is totally dominating in the non-conference schedule to start the season. Take a look right there, 38-11-3. Clearly the best conference in college soccer. And Notre Dame is leading the way right now. They have another non-conference matchup today before they get into the heart of their ACC schedule.
And a tough one it is with Bowling Green, who almost beat 6th-ranked Michigan State last week. Bowling Green coming into the season, or coming into this game, 5-2. The Irish 5-0. There you see the head official, Khalaf Alatafa, as he will lead his group of Abdou Ben Salah, Doug Ferguson, and Ken Mather. And the Irish getting ready for this one in their home whites. Bowling Green in the road orange uniforms. And as I mentioned, Bowling Green 5-2. They have not played a MAC game yet, but a tough stretch for them. They play Notre Dame here today, and then Ohio State on Friday night.
Yeah, talk about a grueling schedule. They went from Michigan State to Cincinnati to Notre Dame and then Ohio State coming up next. Definitely a test for the Falcons. They started the season 5-0. You see the goalie in black right there. Mwembia, the sophomore who had a stellar start to the season, pitching 5 shutouts. He let up 1 goal on a penalty kick against Michigan State, which ended up being the deciding factor. He let up 3 against Cincinnati. We'll see if he can bounce back and steer the Falcons on the right track today.
The Irish sporting the traditional 4-4-2. So 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 2 forwards. Bowling Green, 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, and 3 forwards for the 4-3-3. And Bowling Green is led by head coach Eric Nichols, now in his 9th season. And talk about a turnaround over the last 3 seasons. They've started 4-0 in each of those seasons. They hadn't done that in almost 2 decades.
Eric Nichols, when he came in, Bowling Green had a horrible RPI the year before. It was 184th in the country, but just 4 seasons later, they moved up to 99. 2 seasons later, they were up to 64 in the RPI. So really turning this program around. And last season was one of his most successful. Nichols was the MAC Coach of the Year, and it was the Falcons' highest finish in conference since 2002. They were undefeated in conference play for the first time since '96. So clearly going in the right direction for Bowling Green. We'll see if they can get a staple win here today.
Yeah, 9 wins last year. 2-0-3 in the MAC. And according to Top Drawer Soccer, we alluded to earlier, the 5-0 start, the shutouts. According to Top Drawer Soccer, they were the last team to give up a goal in NCAA Division I soccer.
That's not a bad stat, as Mwembia started his season in stellar fashion. Sophomore from Toulouse, France. Very highly recruited as well.
Kyle Diedrich. Diedrich getting inside, and it's turned away for the moment. The Irish have been hot offensively. 6 goals in the last 2 games, 2 of them coming from Mr. John Gallagher. And Dumas here with the attempted cross has been absolutely terrific, winning ACC Defensive Player of the Week for on September 18th. It was ruled yesterday, but for last week.
Dumas with 2 assists against NC State off of corner kicks. And those came to the 2 big center backs, Matt Hembrowski, number 4, and Patrick Berneski, number 25. Dumas now with 5 assists on the season, 3rd in the team in points. Really a breakout year for him.
It certainly has. Dumas with the 5 assists. That is good for 7th in the country. I think you said it's a breakout year so far. Irish having to replace the likes of Michael Shipp and Brandon Aubrey on that back line. And Diedrich, who played left back last year, playing right back this year. And really the defense has been terrific, and you mentioned it. Obrowski and Berneski both scoring on Friday night.
Goals we don't often see from the center backs. A lot of the time we talk about Gallagher and Farina, but those 2 big boys with some success off of the set pieces, especially the corners, because they can bring those big bodies to the goal box and really overwhelm the goalie and the opposing defenses.
A turnover there by Kyle Diedrich. Yeah, that defense has accounted for 13 out of the 35 points. So you're taking 2 points for goals, 1 point for assists. And really just 2 starters from last year, Obrowski and Diedrich, and Berneski has been terrific in the back line. There's McCabe.
I've really been impressed with Berneski. I mean, he only had 4 appearances last year. He had a few more his sophomore season and had 1 goal, but really had to kind of take a back seat last year because of how dominant that defense was. But he waited it out, and the senior, really an anchor of the defense alongside Hembrowski. And when those guys start to score, combine it with Farina and Gallagher, that's a tough team to stop. And you can see why they started 5-0 and why the Irish just today earned the #1 ranking in the coaches poll.
Yeah, that poll coming out earlier today. They jumped Indiana, who tied Michigan last week. And of course, Notre Dame and Indiana set for the big time matchup a week from today, #1 versus #2. Now, of course, before that game is played, rankings will have changed again. But what a showdown it'll be in Bloomington.
I might have to find a ride over there, see if I can get into the stadium for that game. That's going to be an absolute showdown. 2 in-state rivals, 2 top 10 teams right now at least. Hard to envision either of them falling out within the next week.
And Notre Dame playing their 2nd straight game at home, beating North Carolina State 3-0 on Friday. And will travel to play Virginia Tech this upcoming Friday for their 3rd ACC game. They're currently 2-0 in the ACC with wins over Boston College and North Carolina State.
And that date with Indiana, such a marquee matchup. But then the Irish have to come back and play the ACC. They have games like Virginia, Clemson, Duke, Michigan State, another non-conference team, but a very strong team. It's really a tough schedule and just getting started for the Irish, so they'll see if they can carry this momentum on through.
A nice box out there by Peter Pugliese, the junior midfielder. It's a brisk, well, I guess for this week it's a brisk 71 degrees. It's really become a beautiful night after the rain was falling, but perfect soccer temperatures, if you will.
Yeah, this morning I woke up, I wasn't sure if we'd be able to call this game. A little dreary. We had some passing showers, but sure enough, the clouds opened up.
Gallagher with an attempted run there. It's cut off. Nice ball ahead. All the way out wide to Pugliese. Pugliese will let it rip. It's blocked. And Towns will clear.
Bowling Green with some promise in transition there. They were able to get it up to Pugliese on the left side. Tried to get a shot, but not on goal as it was blocked.
McCabe up ahead of Gallagher. We saw a lot of that on Friday. Gallagher trying to tiptoe the fine line of the end line there, and fortunately goes out of bounds for a goal kick.
Energy's a little bit low, I'd say, for both teams. You see that a lot on these midweek games. A lot of these guys had class today. Had to wake up, go to a day of class, and then get ready to play a tough non-conference opponent here on Tuesday night. So we'll see how the Irish respond. Bobby Clark likes to call these kind of games banana peel games. Games where there's potentially a slip. As the Irish came off a big ACC win, a convincing win against the NC State Wolfpack this past weekend. Now they have to put that in the rear view and focus on this game.
Stoppage in play here. As it looked like Pugliese, after he took that shot, he got hit in the head with the ball, so just tending him, it looked like he was bleeding. As Kalaf Alatafa make sure he's okay before re-entering. Oh yeah, we talked to head coach Bobby Clark, and we have a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, and he's talked about how he doesn't like midweek games and also doesn't prefer mid-season rankings. So now you're number one in the country. He'd rather have no one be ranked.
It makes sense.
It does.
I mean, you look at the past two seasons, Notre Dame, as soon as they got that number one ranking, they slipped a little bit. 2 years ago, as soon as they moved up to number one, they lost a game against Xavier. And then last year, they won one game against UConn in overtime, 1-0. A team that they should have beat probably more handily. And then the next game, on the road at Louisville, they dropped that one. So Bobby Clark, as you said, not a fan of the number one ranking just yet, as they still have the meat of their schedule coming up.
Keaton Reynolds with a nice move. Robertson.
A couple nice moves there. Robertson had a nice stop, able to keep possession.
Here's Pugliese. He'll cross it into the box, hit it away by Berneski. There's Jeff Farina, the senior from Wilmette, Illinois. And how about Farina and Gallagher so far? You had Farina score 4 goals, and now Gallagher has tied him up with 4 of his own.
Jeff Farina with 4 goals to start the season through the first 3 games. Then John Gallagher said, hey, wait for me. He had a hat trick against BC, and then a goal last game in the final seconds of the first half against the Wolfpack. And who was the pass from? Jeff Farina. 2 guys complement each other so well. Both such dangerous offensive threats. Makes it a nightmare for opposing defenses. Coming into the season, we were talking about them, and we haven't stopped. They earn all the hype they get, and they're clearly leading this team at the forward position.
A perfect combination. You got the speed and finesse of Gallagher, and you got the strength and power of Farina. Farina standing tall as well at 6'3". Here's Jack Casey. McKay with the attempted cross towards Farina, who gets a head on it. And cleared away there by Chris Sullivan.
We saw Casey there. I'd like to talk about him a little bit more. The sophomore has 3 assists this season. Kind of a quiet 3 assists, if I do say so myself. A lot of the time we think of Dumas when it comes to assists, but Casey really strong in the midfield position, able to get it up to the forwards, as that same goal we just talked about, the Gallagher goal, came from Casey first. It was Casey to Farina to Gallagher. So starting to fill up his stat sheet in his sophomore year, really a strong player at the midfield.
Here he is, looking for his teammate Gallagher, unable to find him. As Mwembia gathers it. We talked about Mwembia earlier, 2016 All-MAC first team, second freshman to do so in program history, the first in 22 years. And Mwembia this season has gotten off to a terrific start. 5 shutouts, 27 saves. How about a .871 save percentage as he regathers here?
Really incredible start to the year. 2 of those first 5 games, actually back-to-back games. 2-0 win against Cleveland State and a 3-0 win at Drexel. Mwembia had 6 saves in each. So it's not just his defense that's playing well. He is making saves in the goal box and helping his team out. He won MAC Player of the Week earlier in the month. Rightfully so.
Diedrich, nice long run. Out wide to Casey. Casey going to his left, chips it in.
Look at all those orange jerseys, Nick. We talked about how Bowling Green likes to have sometimes even 10 guys in the box. Make it really hard to get a shot on net, and you saw it there.
And Bowling Green able to reverse the field as Keaton Reynolds, the captain, forces a corner kick. The first corner of the night for either side. But you're absolutely right. We watched some of the Michigan State Bowling Green game, and Bowling Green was not afraid to put 9 guys in their defensive third. But now a chance on the set piece to be taken by Tate Robertson. Orange jerseys in a group as Dumas will head it away.
Going back to that defensive strategy, that's how they kept it so close against the Spartans. That game was 1-0, and the 1 goal came on a penalty kick.
Nice play there will force yet another corner. As Robertson drew it and will kick it as well, as you see Dumas there.
Robertson tied for first on the team with 4 assists. Trying to get number 5.
High bending cross. Reynolds there. That one sails wide right. It'll be a goal kick for Chris Elbert.
Pretty good ball from Robertson there. Untouched until it came to Keaton Reynolds. He just couldn't quite get the contact that he wanted. Take another look at the replay here. It gets up over Habrowski, which is saying something. A big center back for the Irish. And Reynolds a little bit upset with himself.
Yeah, not able to get the right angle on that one. Nice control here. But Diedrich stepping in nicely to stop Chris Brennan.
Surprising that Bowling Green got the first couple corners of the game. We saw Notre Dame over 10 corners against NC State, 37 on the season. As they usually get the offensive pressure and force the defenses on their heels to result in corners, but so far that's been Bowling Green tonight.
Ball ahead to Reynolds. Berneski stepping in nicely. Yeah, David, you mentioned the set pieces. Out of those 6 goals in the last 2 games, 4 of them have come on set pieces, 2 on 2 corners, and Gallagher firing off 2 free kicks in the back of the net. Here's Gallagher with the left foot. And it'll be the first corner of the night for the Irish.
See how Gallagher was forced to take a weird angle there from far away on the right side of Mwembia. Defended by number 9, Maycomer. But able to send the ball towards net and force a corner.
So Kyle Diedrich will take it. He has started all 5 games, has an assist. Look for number 25 and number 4. Those were the 2 center backs that scored in the last game, and Wembuya had to get up there and hit that one out of bounds. It'll be another corner and a sight the Irish like to see. Dumas taking it from the right side.
Wembuya said, no, not today. He got a hand on that one. He's the 6'2 goalie. Doing a nice job getting vertical there, and here's Dumas.
This one a high riser. Wembuya back, gets another fist on it, and will draw the foul as well. Bowling Green will be able to send their team upfield and reset.
A lot of confidence there from the sophomore goalkeeper on the 2 corners. Able to defend well, get a hand on both balls. Now trying to send it back the other way.
As we have played the first 15 and a half minutes of this one. Sawahi. And don't be fooled by Bowling Green's unranked position right now. Just last week, David, they were ranked number 18 in the country. And of course, the difficult stretch. 2 losses. Back to back, but still looking to get a big win here. And if not tonight, a big win over Ohio State on Friday.
Handball there from McCabe. The Falcons starting 5-0 like Notre Dame. Able to get the number 19 ranking in the country. And then they played Michigan State, who at the time was number 6. Spartans are still at number 6 today. Then at home versus Cincinnati. But that game coming up against Ohio State, those 2 teams are rivals. And don't be fooled by the Buckeyes being in the Big Ten. The Falcons actually won that game last year by a score of 2-0 on September 24th. Robert Miller had one of the 2 goals, and he's still on the team this year. So looking to repeat success against another Ohio team.
Well played by the Irish defense to clear that one. Farina getting one of his first touches of the game. Of course, Notre Dame started last year as hot as ever, 10-1-1. They had a rough October where they went from number 1 in the country to eventually unranked, but able to step things back up and seeded 13th in the NCAA tournament, made it all the way to the 3rd round.
That's why I think Bobby Clark is saying, all right, let's calm down a little bit. We've been here before, but we didn't finish the season last year quite in the way we wanted to. So he's not getting ahead of himself with this number 1 ranking. He still knows he has a lot to prove, he and his team. After that slip last year, they're hoping to learn from past mistakes, use that experience, and able to have the endurance to finish strong through the season.
Diedrich finding Gallagher. Tough ball for Gallagher to play. Yeah, and in warm-ups today, we were able to talk to a couple players, and they just seem calm. They don't even mention the number 1 ranking. They don't seem to care. Here's Blake Towns. Sean Diedrich will let it rip. That one well over the crossbar, out for a goal kick.
Diedrich clapping his hands on the way back. A little bit upset there. That one lofted a little bit too high. But Notre Dame getting some chances, as they've had 2 corners on the day. As Towns doing a nice job getting it back to Diedrich, able to tee it up. But as we said, just put a little bit too much air under it.
So the Irish registering their first shot of the night. Bowling Green with 2 of their own. Here's Brennan. Brennan using that speed, looking for his teammate Reynolds. But Berneski using that wide frame to halt to the attack. The Irish trying to reverse the fields quickly. Here's Gallagher. McCabe.
Nice job there by Roble. Able to force Gallagher back towards the midfield over to McCabe. Didn't let him get a lane towards the goal. So that's what you have to do against Gallagher. You just have to contain as best you can.
What a pass by Towns. Casey, and Gallagher scores! Oh, what a play from Casey to Gallagher, and the Irish are up 1-0.
Jack Casey, I said he had 3 quiet assists. That's what I call a loud assist. Really good job getting towards the end line, getting Mwembia out from goal, and then just tapping it over to Gallagher. Really nice play by the sophomore Casey, finished off by the senior Gallagher, as he now leads the team with 5 goals on the season.
And that play was not possible without the incredible play by Towns. The chip pass to Casey over to Gallagher, and Gallagher with his 5th goal of the season, and now continuing to climb the all-time scoring scoreboard for the Irish, now with 31 career goals.
Nice job by the Irish to strike first here in this midweek game. Really nice job by the 2 midfielders, Towns and Casey. Take another look here. Beautiful ball up to Casey. Casey with the quick tap over to Gallagher, and tic-tac-toe into the back of the net. The Irish take the 1-0 lead.
The Irish continue to be hot on offense. With other thoughts, though, Chris Brennan firing away as Chris Hubbard will get his first save of the night.
Really not much for Mwembia to do there on that goal, as Casey really close to the end line and close to the goal. Had to come out and defend, but Casey with a nice pass over to Gallagher, and Gallagher putting the cherry on top to give the Irish the lead.
Berneski stepping in front. And now with Gallagher scoring his 5th goal of the season, that is 5 goals in less than 2.5 games for Gallagher. You're worried about him heating up. Now is the time.
Nick, against Cal Poly, John Gallagher had 14 shots and couldn't find the back of the net. We knew it was just a matter of time. And sure enough, he has excelled these past few games, proving us right.
Yeah, he has been absolutely terrific. The throw in there by Robert Miller. But Hubbard able to grab it, and Hubbard reaching a milestone of his own on Friday. 20 career shutouts now for the graduate player. Gallagher thinking about a 2nd goal. That one's deflected away. Diedrich regaining, though.
Alexi Swahi there to block the shot. A really pretty move by Gallagher, able to get it back to the left foot.
Dumas.
Irish started a little slow, but definitely picking up. It'll be crucial to see how the Falcons respond.
Here's Robert Miller. And a foul there on Miller, the 3rd. Towns doing a good job of getting back on defense.
And McCabe's hustling the other way. They're picking up the tempo. And right on cue, they slow it down.
They did, but the Irish attack looked good so far. 7 goals in less than 2.5 games for their offense. Running up to Miller. Towns. And how about the play of this midfield, David, over the course of these last 3 to 4 games? Setting up plays like we just saw moments ago.
That's the thing. The forwards look really good on the stat sheet, but the midfielders are doing a lot of really good work. Able to get it up to those forwards. We talked about it last game. It must be an absolute dream to have Gallagher and Farina as the forwards who you're chipping it up to as they make runs. And we saw Towns to Casey to Gallagher. Seemed effortless almost. And gave Notre Dame the lead.
Yeah, Towns and Casey both credited with assists on the play. Towns now with 9 career assists. And Casey with his 4th assist on the season. Nice play to Gallagher from Diedrich. Gallagher somehow gets the cross in. Being defended there by Swahi.
Swahi seemed to be on him like duct tape. But Gallagher able to make some space and get it towards Farina. Headed up and sent it in the other direction, did the Falcons.
Bowling Green trying to start the counterattack. Here's Brennan. Brennan looking for his teammate Miller. But Diedrich stepping in nicely once again. The Irish have been fantastic at stopping these through balls and the runs that Bowling Green has attempted.
Nice idea there by Brennan, just a little bit too far out ahead of his teammate Maycomer. As long as Bowling Green keeps doing that, hopefully they'll connect and try to tie this thing up.
So we are under 20 minutes left in this first half. Baldessari, David Korzanowski here. The Irish scoring in the 21st minute. And a beautiful play started by Blake Towns. Jack Casey with the finishing assist to John Gallagher.
Notre Dame 5-0 right now on the season. Last season they won their first 6 games before stumbling a little bit, but they were 10-1-1 at one point.
Towns, Farina with the tough angle. He finds Gallagher. Gallagher with the left foot. And just to the left of the post. What a play by Farina to find an open Gallagher. But Bowling Green will happily keep this game at 1-0.
Bowling Green started off leading in the shots category 2-1, but since then it seems like Notre Dame has been putting the foot on the gas pedal. Farina here with a beautiful cross, finding Gallagher in some space. But a good job by number 3, Dominic Greta there, the junior, who started all 7 games this year, doing a nice job for the Falcons defense.
See how things change too for Bowling Green's side. We mentioned the conservative way their defense plays at times. Now you're down 1-0 in the first half. You might have to change the way you play just a tad. Diedrich, he'll get it back.
Bowling Green ready to get a sub in. It's going to be Mo Mustafa, the stellar defenseman for the Falcons. He had 2 goals in a 3-0 win against Drexel. Been a little bit banged up. You'll see he has a little bit of a face mask on to protect the nose. But he's going to be coming in and hopefully give the Falcons a spark.
Nice ball ahead by Berneski all the way the opposite side of the field to Diedrich. Gallagher, Dumas. Quick footwork. That one out for a corner.
Here comes Diedrich. From the opposite corner that we see Dumas line up. As he's the right back with the strong right foot, hoping to find someone in close.
Diedrich. Farina! Farina separated himself from his defender. He got his head on the ball, but heads that one above the crossbar.
Nice cross there by Diedrich. You can't ask for much more than that. Just couldn't find the back of the net. Farina doing a nice job curling and able to get up and get a good header on it, just a little high.
And with that goal kick, you mentioned it, David. Mo Mustafa checking in. He said he had 2 goals against Drexel. He had 3 goals in the 4 games he's played. And Bowling Green, after him being injured for a couple games, glad to see him back on the pitch.
Even though he's missed a few games this season, he's still second on the team in points with 7. He has 3 goals and 1 assist. And he's a defenseman too, 6-foot junior from Westlake, Ohio.
He replaces Chris Sullivan. "15 minutes on the clock before the end of the first half. It's been mostly Irish. Towns to Farina. And Farina doing a good job again, splitting defenders, but unable to get that ball on net.
Wambia doing a nice job there to disrupt the play. Make it tougher for Farina, as he cannot finish and this game stays 1-0. Towns with a nice ground ball over there, but you see number 24 in black sliding over and able to block Farina's shot.
Turnover in the midfield. Casey there to corral it.
Casey's got such great control whenever he's pressured in the midfield. Seems like he always comes away with it. Back to Towns.
Diedrich. Irish doing a terrific job passing the ball today. A lot of turnovers, controlling possession. That's what they've been able to do so far this season.
Fans, please remember that flash photography is not allowed inside Alumni Stadium. We thank you for your cooperation.
Swahi. Bowling Green just trying to keep the ball away from the Irish, and it's been difficult. The pressure from Notre Dame has been constant.
Notre Dame leading in the shots category 6-3. Right on cue as the graphic comes up. But that's something we've seen in the past few games is Notre Dame really hasn't had that advantage in the shots category. Against NC State, it was 12-12. Against Boston College, it was 11-11. Notre Dame won both of those games. But definitely an advantage for the Irish when they're getting more shots and more shots on goal.
And even when they are close with opponents in shots, their quality of shots tend to be much better. And they have certainly done a good job of finding quality looks.
That's a great point, Nick.
As Diedrich crosses to Farina. And Farina now looking for a goal. 3 opportunities. A diving attempt there. He wants to catch up with his teammate John Gallagher.
Talk about quality of shots. The diving header there from Farina. And a good job by Diedrich. Look at that. Going full send like Superman there. But again, couldn't find the back of the net. You mentioned he's trying to catch up to Gallagher. I like to think they have a little bit of a rivalry, the 2 forward seniors.
And Gallagher has a chance to score here. The chip just wide to the right post. And Wembia, who came out of net, happy to see that one favor him.
That one slowly trickled just wide as all of the fans here for both squads held their breath. Gallagher doing a nice job getting it up and over, and the spin on the ball, I think, carried it just a little bit to the right. As you see, those young fans cannot believe it. And Gallagher can't either. Bowling Green catches a break.
Yeah, Gallagher did a good job of getting by Roble, number 5 for Bowling Green. And Wembia figured he had no choice but to try and come out and get that one. And it was almost very costly.
Nice job by Casey, man. He is having a great game today, able to step in front of the pass there and give the Irish possession.
Irish now up to 8 shots. Compared to Bowling Green's 3. Both teams with a shot on goal. And the one on goal for Notre Dame is the reason they lead 1-0.
Gallagher now leading Farina with goals on the season, 5-4. The two seniors live together. They're opposite each other at the forward spot on the field. And they seem to be playing a little game of leapfrog in the shots and goals category. Farina got off to the hot start with 4 goals in the first few games. Gallagher caught up real quick with a hat trick and then a goal against NC State. And today, he overtook the lead in the goals category. Now with 5 on the season, Farina has 4. But those headers, Farina trying to get his stat up to 5 on the season as well.
Yeah, a lot of game left for Farina to respond.
Or Gallagher to separate. We saw that chip that trickled just wide, almost number 6 on the year.
Bowling Green would like to equalize.
And if you're Bowling Green here, you just got to stop the bleeding now. We saw it against NC State. Notre Dame scored 3 goals in the last 15 minutes of the first half. And after that, it seemed like a tough task for the Wolfpack to come back. Falcons right now have to keep this 1-0, get some offensive pressure, and try to knot this thing up.
Yeah, with 9 minutes remaining in this first half. Still plenty of time, and we saw how dominant the Irish were in the last 15 minutes of that game against NC State, scoring all 3 of those goals within that time frame.
And number 3 came with 9 seconds left in the half. You just cannot let up against this Irish offense.
Casey, little spin move. Nice pass by Dumas. Diedrich reversing fields to his younger brother, Sean. And that header will actually steer across the end line for a corner in favor of the Irish.
You mentioned the Diedrich brothers trying to make a connection there. Bowling Green also has a pair of brothers, the Pugliese brothers. Peter, number 12, a junior midfielder. And Sam is a 5'8" freshman, also a midfielder. He has not yet appeared this season. And Dumas gonna find his home in the corner.
A sight we've seen a lot lately. Dumas, Farina. Another header, but this one into the hands of Mwembia, who gets his first save of the night.
Nice job there identifying Farina on the corner kick. As last game, we had a little bit of a slip up here in the broadcast booth because Farina and Berneski look so similar with those large frames and the buzz cuts. Berneski scoring his first goal of the season on a similar cross last year that found its way all the way across the goal box. Berneski able to have Notre Dame lead 2-0. You take a look at the cross here. Farina spinning around and getting a header on it, but Mwembia there to make the save.
Out wide to Robertson, who will cross. It got through. Pugliese is there, but Diedrich will control the clear out to Farina.
Nice job there by Bowling Green. They just have to put the finishing touch on it there and try to get a shot. Pugliese lost control in the Notre Dame defense. Quick to swoop in.
And a nice cross there by Robertson. Got over the first line of defense. Seen the ball a lot on the left side so far, but Gallagher losing it there.
Sun's starting to set here in South Bend. A pretty sky on hand as it's turning to pink and the lights are coming on. 6th game of the season for the Irish. They lead 1-0 against Bowling Green. Now the #1 team in the country as Grace Hall is going to be lit up with that #1 sign. Notre Dame trying to stay atop the rankings for a few weeks and show that they're one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I mean, now in ranked #1 in the country, you got a target on your back in every game you play.
That was something Coach Bobby Clark said before the season even started. Being Notre Dame, you have a target on your back. Being #1 Notre Dame, teams will be circling this game on their calendar.
You see head coach Bobby Clark. What a terrific job he has done. 2013 national champion. He's also coach of the year back in 2013. You see his resume just absolutely incredible.
Bobby Clark looking for win number 210 today for the Irish, as he coached at Stanford and Dartmouth before.
Casey. Farina becoming a popular target for his teammates, but Mwembia able to get that one as that one sailed over the head of the senior.
6'3" senior with a lot of chances, as this one just scoots a little bit over his head. A little bit too high by Casey there, and Mwembia able to haul it in.
The Irish have had the right idea so far, looking for his head, that being Farina. We talked about Bowling Green playing defensively, and the way to beat that is through crosses, and we've seen quite a few so far. In fact, on the goal the Irish scored, you had the Blake Towns cross to the right side of the box to Casey, who ended up finding Gallagher for the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, that was beautiful ball movement. That's what you have to do against tough teams like Bowling Green. Farina looking for Gallagher there, but a nice job by Bisher, the freshman midfielder.
Barneski flying high to get the header there. Sets up the offensive attack. Diedrich. Diedrich will let it rip off the post and cleared away by Mustafa. Oh my goodness. And it's a counterattack for the Falcons. Brennan still with the ball. But Diedrich, Sean that is, stepping in to end that attack.
Diedrich with his daily iron supplement there, finding the crossbar. And Mwembia frozen in his tracks. He had no chance of stopping that one, and the crossbar bailed him out. What a beautiful strike there by Diedrich.
Gallagher called for the foul there. Take another look at this shot by Diedrich. My goodness.
I mean, Mwembia can't even move. That thing was just absolutely flying. And number 12 with his hands on his head after that one. He thought he was going to have his first goal of the season.
Yeah, Diedrich's been close on a couple of plays now in the last 2 games. If you look back to the NC State game, the Irish will draw the foul there. Diedrich had a shot on the left side of the box with no one in front of him and just shot it an inch or two above the crossbar. And, well, he got the post right there. Maybe 3rd time's the charm.
He has some power, and we've seen it on display these past few games. And he's yet another offensive weapon. I mean, Felicia Dumas with 5 assists, the 2 center backs with goals against NC State, Farina and Gallagher. And then when the midfielders start scoring, this team is dangerous. There's no doubt about it.
What a great ball that was to Pugliese. He'll cross it. No one there as Zabrowski will get a foot on it. As we are under a minute and a half in this first half. Gallagher scoring his 5th goal of the season, his 31st career goal back in the 21st minute. He continues to climb the all-time scoring list at Notre Dame.
1 minute to play in the first half. 1 minute.
He's at coming in today was solo for 12th on that list. The 30 goals. No call there from the head official Alatafa as the Irish try to head the other way. Mustafa there to cut off Gallagher.
Falcons weren't happy there. They were looking for a foul, but Berneski didn't hear the whistle, so he kept chugging along. And now it sets up a corner kick for the Irish.
Clock is ticking, 20 seconds left. We saw the Irish score with 9 seconds left in first half of Friday's game, and it'll actually be a throw in here. So time lost. We're under 10 seconds.
Little miscommunication there. Mustafa actually with a nice job on defense, able to prevent that corner, and that's going to be the half.
And the Irish scoring in the 21st minute, take a 1-0 lead. A lot of similarities to Friday's game.
Notre Dame leading 10-3 in the shots category. Mwambia with 1 save, but Notre Dame with 1 goal off of a beautiful tic-tac-toe play from Towns to Casey to Gallagher, who now moves to number 1 on the team this season with 5 goals. We'll see what the Falcons do to respond in the second half.
The Irish are hot offensively as we head to the break. 1-0 is the score here on the ACC Network Extra. We are back here at Alumni Stadium. Nick Baldessari and David Korzanowski. The Irish leading 1-0 on the goal from Gallagher. And David, he has been hot. Now 5 goals in just 3 games.
John Gallagher and Jeff Farina doing a great job here today. See Gallagher with a little chip that trickled just wide due to the spin on it when Bia caught a break. But a beautiful play here from Towns to Casey to Gallagher, putting the icing on the cake. And with the beautiful celebration, really nice job by the Irish.
The Irish with that 1-goal lead. They have scored 7 goals in 2.5 games. And there you take a look at the first half stats.
Something we don't see a lot in these past few games is Notre Dame really dominating in the shots category. Against NC State, it was 12-12. Against BC, it was 11-11. But Notre Dame really taking control of the offense here as they lead 10-3. And also, you take a look at those corners. Notre Dame's been lethal there all season. They came into today with 37 corners, now make it 41. Bowling Green had a good first couple minutes, but the Irish laying it on.
And we will head to break. We'll be back here in a few moments on the ACC Network Extra. Still here at halftime. Festivities on the field for the half. And David, a great tradition every year is led by the grassroots program that Tommy Clark built.
Yeah, really nice job by head coach Bobby Clark's son, Tommy. The grassroots soccer matchup is always an exhibition game against Valparaiso because Bobby Clark and the head coach of Valparaiso, Coach Avery, have a really good relationship. Avery was an assistant at Notre Dame. And this organization is all about preventing the spread of HIV in Africa through soccer. Some of the Notre Dame team went back to Africa about 4 years ago and was able to talk to some of the kids over there. Really nice job by the Irish to raise money for this charity, raise awareness with another in-state team like Valparaiso. But really, they've channeled that, and they've started the season really well. 5-0, trying to go on 6-0 right now.
They have been terrific. They visited Zimbabwe, like you said, 4 years ago. For more information, log on to grassrootssoccer.org, and we will take another break here on the ACC Network Extra. Back here at Alumni Stadium, Nick Baldessari, David Korzanowski. And as we continue this halftime break, let's take a look at the ACC in the rankings. 9 teams in last year's NCAA tournament, a record for that championship.
And the ACC picking up right where they left off. You take a look at these new rankings. That's 7 of the top 11 teams coming from the ACC. Absolutely unheard of. Notre Dame leading the way at 5-0 right now. But teams like Wake Forest, North Carolina, Clemson, then Virginia, Louisville, and Syracuse, and Duke is sneaking their way up after they've had a good start to their season. We'll see once these teams start to clash how it shakes out down the stretch.
And the big one is Notre Dame hosting Virginia on September 29th. That'll be a dandy. But, I mean, how do you get through this conference unscathed? Being number one right now might be a little unrealistic as you look into that ACC schedule.
But it also is important to get these wins while they can outside of the conference. They did it last year. They started 6-0, stumbled a little bit, but still were able to come into the College Cup and make it to the third round. Wake Forest, number 4, they made it to the championship game last year. I mean, 2 of the Final 4 and 5 of the Elite 8 teams last year were all from the ACC. Just ridiculous statistics. And we'll see how these teams do once they start playing one another.
North Carolina picked to finish first in the ACC in the preseason. We'll see if the Irish and Wake Forest and, of course, the rest of the field will have anything to do with that. And we'll take another break here on the ACC Network. Second half coming up next between Notre Dame and Bowling Green. Run. Back at Alumni Stadium before we start the second half. It is certainly known how well the Irish have done after graduating from the university. And there you take a look at the notable alumni. Matt Beasler with Sporting KC, part of that 2014 World Cup team, the starting center back. And Justin Morrow and Beasler played in the Gold Cup for the United States, and also not on that list, Brandon Aubrey, drafted by Toronto after last season, and he has been terrific professionally, and the Irish continuing the program dominance as the next graduates look to move on and be great pros as well. And we'll be back here on the ACC Network Extra after these messages. Second half, moments away here at Alumni Stadium. The sun has set, and the lights are on for the latter 45. Notre Dame leading Bowling Green 1-0. Nick Baldessari, David Korzanowski here. Gallagher with the goal, but Jeff Farina for the Irish has been terrific as well.
Yeah, really nice job all around by Notre Dame. We've seen a really good job by Gallagher, Farina, and then guys like Diedrich and Casey. And the defense has played well, limiting the Falcons to just 3 shots, 1 on goal. And there the leaders are numbers 9 and 10. John Gallagher and Jeff Farina. Gallagher notching up his 5th goal of the season. And Notre Dame playing like the number 1 team in the country. See if they can finish this one out against the Bowling Green Falcons.
Farina and Gallagher leading the Irish with 4 shots apiece. And for the Falcons, their 3 shots have come from 3 different players: Keaton Reynolds, Peter Pugliese, and Chris Brennan. Bowling Green had a couple of nice opportunities, but nothing too harmful for Chris Hubbard in net.
And those really came early. They led the shots category 2-1 after the first 10 or so minutes, and then Notre Dame just laid it on thick. 10 shots, 2 on goal, and 1 finding the back of the net.
Cleared away there by Maycomer. Bowling Green used 2 substitutes in that first half, Mo Mustafa and Robert Miller. The Irish back out there with their starting 11, haven't used a substitution. It speaks to the endurance and stamina of head coach Bobby Clark's team.
Notre Dame in the newest coaches poll, ranking number 1 in the country in college soccer. Similar situation as they found themselves perched atop the leaderboard early last season before they got into the heart of their conference play. Bobby Clark and the squad trying to learn from past mistakes and hopefully carry the success into games like Indiana, Virginia, Wake Forest, and others.
Ball up ahead. Hubbard able to get there. Yeah, the Irish traveling to Virginia Tech for a Friday night game. You got to beat the Hokies, obviously, but then you fast forward to the next week, you got Indiana and Virginia in the same week. In fact, a Tuesday to Friday flip around. That's 2 top 10 teams in just a matter of days.
And Nick, something we talk about is how good the ACC is and what all the ACC teams are ranked. they play Indiana and Michigan State. And Michigan. And Northwestern, a team they lost to last year. But really, those first two that I mentioned, Indiana and Michigan State, are both in the top 10 right now. So they're playing in the toughest conference in college soccer, and they're playing two stellar Big Ten teams. It is a daunting task ahead for the Irish, but then, come tournament time, few teams have had as tough a schedule as the Irish.
Michigan also in the top 25, so that's 3 ranked Big Ten opponents for the Irish. You add that in playing in the best conference in college soccer, the ACC. Irish will be battle tested once tournament time comes around. Nice little move by Diedrich, and it's cleared out for a corner.
Corner number 5 coming up for the Irish, going to be number 42 on the season. Diedrich doing a nice job after his brother had an absolute frozen rope off of the crossbar in the first half. Doing a nice job forcing the corner, and number 5, Felicia Dumas, jogging over to the right corner that he knows so well.
Dumas sets up shop. A nice bending corner. A shot from Towns. No, he'll fake it. Now a lob to the opposite side. Mwembia try to get a hand on it. That one ends up off of an Irish player for a goal kick.
That ball was bouncing around. Few close calls for Mwembia, but he walks away unscathed as he blocks the shot, and it comes out to Towns, doing a nice job with the fake, trying to get a chip up. And Berneski going toe-to-toe with Mwembia. Two guys, big frames and tall. And Mwembia came out the winner.
And an offsides called there. First offsides for either side. Irish will play it quickly.
This game started slow. The Irish really had a strong closing 30 minutes of the first half, something we saw against NC State as well. Bowling Green trying to come out with a little more pep in their step here in the second half. Trying to knock this thing up.
Dumas played that one away as Towns will force the throw in.
Towns sending it off of Brennan there. And Dumas going to throw it in. He's had such a great start to his season with 1 goal and 5 assists. He did have 2 appearances last year, but don't let the number 2 fool you. They were in 2 of the biggest games of the year against Cal and Stanford. Remember, Notre Dame beat Stanford in double overtime, and the Cardinal went on to win the national championship. So a huge game there for the Irish. And that was in the earlier part of the year.
And the same thing goes for another starter, and Kyle Diedrich, who only played twice last year, but played in 2 big games as well. Played against Indiana and Cal. 2 top 25 opponents. And boy, have those 2 players been good so far this season.
And that just shows how Bobby Clark knows what he's doing with this team. He's getting these guys experience. He's growing them in the system.
As Brennan shoots and scores! Chris Brennan on the run, and Bowling Green has tied this one up.
Bowling Green piling on Brennan, and why not tying this one up, as there was a little bit of a Brennan sandwich there. He had Dumas on one side, Berneski on the other, but able to weasel his way through and have a nice strike with the right foot, putting it past Hubbard, and the goalkeeper was not too happy. Dumas and Berneski unable to cut off Brennan there, and this game is knotted up at 1.
And just like that third goal on Friday, that came out of nowhere. That pass all the way up to Brennan. And Brennan, who led the team in points coming in today, adds 2 more with his 4th goal on the season to go alongside his 4 assists, and now has 9 career goals in a Falcons uniform.
Second straight game scoring, too. The Falcons lost 3-1 to the Cincinnati Bearcats, but Brennan was stellar as always, and he's doing a nice job here to keep it close against the #1 team in the country.
Not a bad stat for Brennan. Now 9 goals in 20 starts.
That's Gallagher-esque.
27 career appearances for Brennan, but a big goal to equalize here early in the second half. Resetting this one to an even figure. Nice move by Kyle Diedrich.
Really nice job.
Left foot, a running Farina, unable to get there. And headed away by the goal scorer, Brennan.
Notre Dame still trying to apply the pressure. All of a sudden, this game is tied up. And it's who's the best in the last 38 minutes.
Towns, nice pass. Gallagher. Back to Towns. Out wide. McCabe will let it rip. Wide to the right. McCabe looking for his first goal of the season.
Just McCabe's second shot of the year, and it was a great opportunity, but number 16 could not steer that one down. Able to tee it up right by the semicircle by the penalty box. And now Bowling Green coming back the other way. This is why it was so important for them to keep it close in the end of the first half when Notre Dame was applying so much offensive pressure. One kick changed it all.
Reynolds stays on sides, fighting for the ball on the end line. And the Irish will force the goal kick.
Because we saw against NC State, as soon as they let up on the defensive end, Notre Dame was quick to put goals 2 and 3 in the back of the net and pretty much put that game out of reach. Bowling Green did a nice job to stop the bleeding. They got some help from some lucky bounces on the Gallagher tip that trickled wide and then on the Diedrich shot that went off the crossbar. But sometimes you need those breaks when you're playing such a dominant team like Notre Dame, and this game is 1-1.
You see all that scuffle there again between Diedrich and Reynolds. A good scuffle, no harm done, no fouls called.
Nothing wrong with a good scuffle every now and then. These two teams don't see each other often, haven't played since '94. Notre Dame leads the series all-time 5-4 and 1 tie. But despite the 23-year hiatus, these two teams playing with some competitive edge today.
Well, the series has told the story for this game too, an even series in the 10 games they've played and a 1-1 tie here tonight. And you mentioned earlier that first half where Notre Dame was able to pull away from NC State. Remember, NC State thought they had the lead, as you see the offsides right there. That goal was called back, and then Notre Dame took that one away from the Wolfpack. A closer game in the first 30 minutes of that first half, and a good job here by Bowling Green to, like you said, keep this game at bay.
Yeah, NC State struck first, but after Dumas pleaded his case to the side judge, they reversed that goal call, and Notre Dame took advantage, winning the game 3-0. But we saw a very similar tail of the tape almost. NC State came out guns a-blazing, getting some shots on net, almost took the lead on the goal that was called back, and then Notre Dame dominated the rest of the first half. So we're going to have a foul here.
Gallagher forcing the free kick right alongside the end line, right before the box.
And remember, John Gallagher had 2 goals on free kicks, on set pieces, against BC, as Roble got tangled up with Gallagher there.
And Roble issued the booking, a yellow card issued by head official Kalaf Alatafa.
It's actually going to be Dumas to take this free kick, as it's going to be a corner, but almost in a little bit closer.
Seen Dumas' ability to be able to bend the ball. Irish spread out across the box. This one bending. Farina, the initial header. Obrowski went over the head of and behind Berneski. And it's cleared out for a throw-in.
Yeah, Berneski's going to want that one back. He just froze up a little bit, wasn't able to track the ball and get ahead on it. But Notre Dame with another throw in here and a chance for the Irish.
And the Irish will use their first substitution of the night. Thomas Uhland checking in, his second appearance of the season. Coming back from an injury, now healthy to play some minutes. He replaces Kyle Diedrich. Gallagher with the header, and Wembia able to get to that one.
They're playing head ball right now. It seems to be going from noggin to noggin in the penalty box, as Gallagher was the last one to touch it there, but Wembia able to make the save.
Not the best of kicks from Wembia. Gallagher has it.
It's incredible what he's able to do. Surrounded by 3 jerseys there, but now the Irish still have possession.
Nice play by Uhland. McCabe with a soft cross. Farina, the header. Irish keep it in the offensive zone. Dumas finds Gallagher. Gallagher. The second attempt, no, but Gallagher still has it. And that shot is blocked. A quick cross by Diedrich. And again, Bowling Green's defense standing tall.
Notre Dame playing with a sense of urgency right now. Here's Dumas again.
That one over the head of Gallagher. Bowling Green keeps it alive. And perhaps a mistake as the foul's committed and the Irish take a quick free kick. And it's headed away out of bounds for a corner. The Irish stepping up that sense of urgency, as you said.
We got a team full of Energizer bunnies right now, running all around the field, playing with a lot of energy, enthusiasm, excitement, and urgency. And here's going to be another corner.
Casey. It's a deep one again. Dumas is there. And the Irish trying to claim it was off a Bowling Green opposing player, but it'll be a goal kick from Wembia.
Substitution for the Falcons, number 21, Robert Miller III.
And a substitution for Bowling Green. Robert Miller III checking back in. He replaces Keaton Reynolds.
Robert Miller was a great offensive player for the Falcons last year. 2 goals in 18 appearances, as well as 4 assists, 5th on the team in scoring, and a huge goal against the Ohio State Buckeyes in that in-state rivalry where they won 2-0.
And play has been stopped by Khalaf Alatafa as there was another booking on Tate Robertson this time. So 2 bookings on the Falcons. And Alatafa making sure everything is in order. There was that substitution you saw a moment ago with Miller the third in for Reynolds as we resume play.
A little bit of confusion there. We had a little bit of confusion last game too on a yellow card.
Dumas with a quick cross. Sawaya there to clear it. Farina. Farina's patient. Kicks it back to Casey. McCabe surveying his options. Irish excellent passing. Dumas will use the left foot. This one too low. Sawaya again with the header. The Irish doing a good job of maintaining possession, although not getting any threatening opportunities here.
Definitely outside of that 1 goal for the Falcons, it seems to be all Irish as they're playing with a sense of urgency. It seems like they want to keep that #1 ranking. and do their head coach Bobby Clark proud. But it's going to be a foul on the Irish as Tate Robertson is banged up on the play.
Robertson was the one who just received the booking a minute and a half ago, and he's still on the ground. Game has picked up a little bit in physicality. We've already seen the two bookings on the Falcons as Uhland stepping in there.
Uhland's going to pick up the foul. It looks like Robertson might have rolled an ankle there as he's in pain with that right leg. Still on the ground. And they're going to be calling out a trainer to take a look at it. See the foul's there, 3-3. Checking the right ankle, seeing if it's all right. So he seems to be pointing down a little bit further towards his foot. Looks like he's gonna come out for a couple minutes as he walks off with a limp.
Not a good sign for Bowling Green. As there you see the substitution, Charlie Majeski will check in for the first time. He's played the last two games, getting his fourth appearance of the season tonight.
He's another Ohio native from Cincinnati. Playing here in Indiana in a big game, as Mwembi is going to come way out of goal.
We've seen him come out of goal a lot, and if you go back to that game against Cincinnati, the Bearcats scored their third and final goal on an empty net because Bowling Green was trying to score in the last minutes, and it turned the wrong way. It'll be a throw in here for the Falcons.
And Bowling Green coming off of a really good season last year. They just couldn't win the big games and had a little bit of a heartbreaking stretch to end the season. With first place on the line in the MAC, they tied the Akron Zips. And then with the MAC regular season title on the line, they tied Buffalo.
It's away with a header to a teammate. But the offside's called.
And then picking up where I left off in the semifinals of the MAC tournament, they played Buffalo again, and they lost that game in overtime, 1-0 to end their season. So their final three games of the year in conference play were heartbreakers. They did get a good win against Ohio State 2-0 earlier in the year, but they're trying to sort of change the dynamic and really be able to finish out these big games.
They've been good in recent years, as Brennan, the goal scorer from earlier, letting one go with the left foot.
Brennan got a little bit excited there as he had a man in front of him, and now Hubbard will take it for a goal kick.
And how about that loss to Cincinnati for Bowling Green? That snapped a 13-game home winning streak. But now they got to get familiar with the road as they're playing the Irish tonight and Ohio State on Friday.
Nice job by Uhland fighting for the ball there, and now Farina has possession. Majeski coming off of the bench, got fresh legs and is playing with some energy.
We're under 30 minutes regulation here at Alumni Stadium. Bowling Green equalizing here in the second half. Blake Towns with it, and Blake Towns will force yet another corner. The seventh of the night for Notre Dame.
7 corners to 2 for the Falcons, as Notre Dame sets up shop in a familiar spot. It's going to be Casey again. Had an assist earlier in the game and will try to notch up another right now. Mwembi is standing tall with his hands above his head.
Casey's cross is deep. Irish have threatened on a couple of corners so far. Casey will cross in another ball and will force another corner.
Casey's going to get another crack at it, as the Irish did a good job, especially Blake Towns, to keep the pressure on. And Mwembi yet again standing tall.
Casey, a high riser. Ball stays in bounds as Berneski fell. It's cleared out. McCabe and Diedrich, the last line of defense for the Irish. Casey, another cross. Headed away by Brennan. Bowling Green is doing a good job of getting rid of these crosses here in the second half.
See a lot of orange jerseys.
Look at that. Cross by Casey, looking for a running Uhland, and that was almost a perfect connection, but Mwembia coming out of net.
Nice awareness there by the sophomore goalkeeper. You see plays like this led to the 5-game shutout streak to start the season as Towns looking for Farina there. But it's still going to be Notre Dame ball. Dumas with the throw-in.
Just joining us, Nick Vallisari, David Korzanowski here from Alumni Stadium. Notre Dame scored the game's first goal back in the 21st minute. A Gallagher strike off the passes of Jack Casey and Blake Towns. But Bowling Green able to tie it up in the 51st minute. There's Chris Brennan on a nice run, able to finish off the pass from Keaton Reynolds.
Time continues to tick off the clock, and Notre Dame still applying the pressure. Here's Towns.
Towns again, he's been busy on the left side. Casey back to Towns. Towns looking for a Dumas, but nicely stepped in by Sullivan.
A little bit too soft there, looking for Dumas. Sullivan able to make the easy scoop, and Notre Dame has to regroup.
Again, you're seeing Bowling Green with 10 defenders. This cross, Towns got a piece of it.
Towns had to sprint over there, couldn't quite get the header that he wanted. And now Habrowski way on the other side of the pitch. And Hubbard will send it back. The cross there, and Towns streaking towards net, able to get the head on it, but not towards net the way he wanted. He's going to get another chance right now.
Absolutely right. Casey. Irish taking it a bit slow. They've been able to keep it in the Bowling Green half, but no urgency to get the ball in the box. They are looking for that perfect opportunity. Farina.
Little back and forth there. Casey with the chance, now over to Diedrich.
Irish still keeping it in the offensive half. Casey, nice play back to McCabe.
It's really tough with all these orange jerseys.
Dumas will send the cross in. It's over the head of both Farina and Gallagher.
And with those 10 jerseys in the penalty box, they like to get chances like this where they're going the other way, and Diedrich is not happy as Pugliese fell there when Diedrich took a step in, and Pugliese is going to win that battle. Head referee siding with the Falcons there. Bowling Green with a chance to calm down a little bit and regroup. Saw the slide tackle, trying to send it back to Dumas. Pugliese went sliding and started grabbing at his leg, and he won over the head referee. Now with a long cross into Hubbard.
Hubbard gave it right back to the Falcons. Majeski out wide. Cross coming in. And the heading attempt from Swahi will actually result in a corner.
We've seen corner after corner on the opposite end of the pitch. Now Bowling Green's going to get a chance. And this game's knotted. They're going to try to take the lead here. Notre Dame defenders with their hands on their hips. Definitely a little bit frustrated and dissatisfied right now. But they have to show their grit and intensity as Majeski, the substitute, is going to take this one.
And also checking back into the game is Mo Mustafa for the Falcons, as this corner isn't hit particularly well. Towns has a challenge here of clearing it, and the turnover. Miller will send it in. Mustafa with the header. And Habrowski stepping in to clear the danger.
Good job by Habrowski. After the chance from Mustafa.
Nice ball ahead. Towns to Gallagher. He's got a lot of room. Gallagher will shoot. It's blocked. Stays with it. Cross in. Mustafa stepped in with the header.
Mustafa with two big plays on opposite ends of the pitch after coming in as the substitute. Notre Dame trying to get it into the penalty box. The only orange jersey staying close to midfield is Robert Miller.
Casey shoots! So what a save by Mwembia, who reached all the way to the left post to keep that one from going in.
Mwembia with his fourth save of the night. Playing like the MAC player of the week that he was a couple of weeks ago after that outstanding start to his season. Casey playing a really good game today. Gets it between the legs of Roble. But Mwembia there to stop it.
Great effort by Casey to not only field that, but get a shot off. Casey finds Gallagher on the left flank. Gallagher with a powerful cross.
A little bit too high. Looking for Uhland. Couldn't quite find him. And that's going to be yet another corner. Number 9 for Notre Dame. With just over 20 minutes left, this game's still knotted 1-1. Bowling Green hanging with the number 1 team in the country. And Dumas calmly jogs over to the corner.
Dumas will set up shop.
This is almost like practice for him. He just gets so many reps on these corner kicks. And here's another chance.
Berneski! And that one wide left. Berneski almost with his second goal in 2 games.
Berneski jogging back after 25 sends it just wide, and 24 breathes a sigh of relief. Berneski with a chance, and it just snuck to the left side. And we have a couple of substitutes.
Bowling Green with 3 substitutions. Keaton Reynolds, Tate Robertson, and Chris Brennan all back in. So some fresh legs after they all 3 took a quick break. Bowling Green with it. That was Reynolds. What an effort. Out wide, here's Maycomer. And Diedrich, all he can do is head that one over the end line. It'll be a corner for Bowling Green, their 4th of the night.
The shots are 15-5 in favor of Notre Dame. The corners are 9-4 the same way, but Bowling Green is hanging tough as they get another corner here.
It'll be Robertson. Play it back. Most of Bowling Green's team was near the net. Had to retreat. And the volley attempt there by Zach Bisher. It'll be a goal kick for Chris Hubbard. And again, if you're just joining us, the Irish scoring the first goal back in the 21st minute. John Gallagher able to finish on the Towns to Casey connection.
Towns over to Casey, and the sophomore back to Gallagher for his 5th goal of the year. And then Brennan, sandwiched by 2 defenders, still able to find the back of the net and beat Hubbard And that's how we have the 2 goals on the day. And Nick, it's important to remember, Notre Dame has been #1 in the polls each of the last 2 seasons. 2 years ago, they immediately lost to Xavier in a banana peel game, a midweek game against a non-conference opponent. And last year, they won 1 game against UConn, 1-0. But then slipped up against Louisville on the road.
Nice job by Hubbard to come out of net.
So Bowling Green trying to be the 3rd team to upset the #1 ranked Fighting Irish. And Notre Dame trying to make #3 the lucky charm.
Gallagher cleared away for the moment. And again, we talked to the players in warm-ups. We mentioned the #1 ranking. It seemed to just pass right by them. They, weren't worried about it, didn't care about it. That's the mentality of their head coach, Bobby Clark. But then again, it's tough to play a midweek game against a tough out-of-conference opponent. Dumas will cross, and Farina with the run will take a corner. Now the 10th for the Irish.
Farina's been quiet here lately, but with a chance there and forcing yet another corner for Jack Casey. Now just over 16 minutes left in this game.
Casey. Deep again. Berneski was there, but it'll go off the Bowling Green defenders. And the 11th corner. And now Dumas with that left foot.
Dumas going to have to put some ice on the left foot after this game, as he stomps on the ground that he's visited so often tonight.
Dumas. Farina was cutting, but a nice header by Mustafa. And it's cleared away by the Falcons.
Notre Dame not with the same success they had on the corner kicks against NC State. They scored 2 of their 3 goals there last game, but have not connected tonight.
Cross over the head of Gallagher. Towns there to retrieve it. Dumas. And it's blocked out for a throw-in. And sure, they haven't been able to convert on the corners, but they are keeping the pressure on in this offensive half.
Foot on the gas pedal until the very end. They do not want to tie this game.
Nice pass from Dumas to Casey, the cross. Keaton Reynolds coming back to get a foot on it.
And Wembia has made some nice saves, but a lot of it has been the Bowling Green defense. We've seen 10 near the penalty box, making it really hard for Notre Dame to get quality chances. And then on the corners, Notre Dame's 0 for 11 tonight.
Another attempt of a connection there. But Diedrich called for the foul. And we are under 15 minutes left in regulation. As head referee Kafar Alatafa trying to tell Wembia to step back all the way near the end line. It's been an entertaining Tuesday night. The non-conference battle between the MAC and the ACC. And it's lived up to it.
Sometimes in these non-conference games, they can slow down a little bit. One of the first games of the year against San Diego was a bit of a slog. Notre Dame winning that one 2-0. But this game, although the score is only 1-1, there's been a lot of action. 15 shots for the Irish, 6 for the Falcons. And this game has been coming down to the wire. Bowling Green again amid a difficult stretch. They played Michigan State, Cincinnati, Notre Dame today, and Ohio State coming up.
Farina finds his teammate, and the Irish score the second goal of the game, and it's Thomas Uhland.
The substitute number 21, finally, after knocking on the door, Notre Dame finds their way home. Jeff Farina with yet another assist. Back-to-back games with an assist for number 9. And Uhland with the pretty finish. Wembia can't do anything to stop that one. Notre Dame retakes the lead, 2-1.
What a pass from Farina, and what a finish by Uhland. You think Thomas Uhland is happy to be back?
Thomas Uhland out with a bit of an injury. The junior midfielder did not play until today. Excuse me. Played against NC State, just his second appearance of the season. He had 2 goals last year, and he now has 1 today.
His 7th career goal, as Farina adds another assist to his total. 2 assists on the season. As a yellow card now being issued to Alexi Swahi, as Pugliese also upset, talking to the head referee, Alakafa. And maybe a little reminiscent of what happened on Friday, but reversed with the Irish arguing the offsides call that saw NC State's goal be taken off the board, and maybe that's what the Falcons are arguing here, that Uhland was offsides.
We saw a little bit of a conference between the referees, but this goal is going to stand. There's a booking for Bowling Green, as Swahi trying to fire up his teammates and say, hey, this game's not over. Still 1 goal just separating the 2 teams.
And Swahi, actually a transfer student from Notre Dame College, not to be confused with University of Notre Dame College in South Euclid, Ohio. As Alakafa is done discussing that last goal. And Swahi, a captain on this team, trying to lead his team back into a groove to tie this one up. What a goal it was by Thomas Uhland. You see Eric Nichols there on your screen, the head coach for the Falcons. Now in his 9th season. Never played the Irish as a coach.
And on the other side, Bobby Clark has played the Falcons once, but it was not when he was at Notre Dame. That game came when he was with the Stanford Cardinal. Now Notre Dame just has to hang on for these last 12 and a half minutes. A little bit less pressure now that they have the lead. But we saw what happened at the start of the second half when Bowling Green played with the chip on their shoulder. They were able to tie it up. So Notre Dame has to be careful.
And again, time has been stopped, as it looks like Alatafa has just had enough. And he's consulting not just one player, but a multitude of players. As you see Swahi, Gallagher, and Farina there, as the head referee looks to just get this game back on track.
A little bit of confusion.
And it's been a physical second half.
Definitely.
3 bookings now on Bowling Green, and it's picked up in intensity, and if that's the way it's going to be in a midweek game with non-conference opponents. Irish would love to add another insurance goal.
Yeah, another goal here would seem to put this game out of reach.
So far, Bowling Green staying with the conservative strategy, having 10 men on the defensive side, not pressuring until the Irish cross 10 to 15 feet inside their half, but a turnover here.
And a lot of what they try to do is get out in transition. They have those 10 guys in the penalty box so that they can get out the other way when they get possession, as there was a little bit of a trip up there. Uhland tangling up with Pugliese.
And Uhland will draw the booking. So the first yellow card on the Irish, and you remember that Uhland was in an altercation earlier that almost drew a booking, so he gets booked with the first yellow card for the Irish.
And Pugliese was a little frustrated there. Remember, he got slide tackled by Diedrich on the near side. And Diedrich was not happy with the foul call there. Bowling Green with another chance.
Robertson, a deep cross, a header. Will result in a goal kick. Mustafa almost there to get the second touch.
Nice ball by the Falcons. As this one sails up and back out of play, just wide of the goal. Notre Dame and Bowling Green here on Tuesday night. Just over 11 minutes left in this game. Here comes Towns.
Nice dribble move by Towns. Towns going right, fires, is Gallagher, and a nice save by Mwembia, and another corner.
Sprawling save by the sophomore goalkeeper. 24 in black has been busy tonight. He's had to worry about 12 corners and then shots like this. Towns finding Gallagher, who tees it up, but a nice save.
What a second touch by Blake Towns, who went right, found himself in a bit of a pickle, but still finding an open teammate. As Casey will cross it, Farina jumping up, and it's cleared. We now approach 10 minutes left in regulation. The Irish scoring that go-ahead goal in the 77th minute. And there you see the shot discrepancy. As McCabe will draw the foul.
These two teams are absolutely gassed right now, as it has been pedal to the metal since the start of the second half, especially when this game got tied up off of the Brennan goal. These two teams have been going at it. And Alataf is going to call yet another timeout. This time it's for a untied shoelace. So not quite the altercations we've seen earlier, but that man has been blowing the whistle a lot. Going to need to rest his lungs after tonight.
He's been a busy man. We saw McCabe go down initially. It took him a second to get up, and now Farina tying his shoe.
Got to double knot it for sure if you're Farina. Being as busy as he is.
What a day it has been for Farina. 16th career assist.
And his assist today now ties him and Gallagher in terms of points. Both of them have 10, so the two seniors stay about even in the offensive categories.
You're really not going to let this go. They're going to fight to the end of the season, it seems. Uhland trying to keep it inside the box. It's cleared away for the moment. Towns regains. Nice little drag move. A shot from deep by Uhland, but into the hands of Mwembia.
Mwembia with his 5th save of the night. Remember, he had 2 games with 6 saves in back-to-back contests. A 2-0 win against Cleveland State and a 3-0 win at Drexel. That was part of Bowling Green's 5-0-0 start to the season. Moved him up to number 19 in the national rankings before dropping a 1-0 contest to Michigan State, and then a 3-1 game at home to the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Robert Miller, the third, checking back in.
He's been on and off a lot tonight.
He has. He's been a busy man himself, checking in for Tate Robertson. Miller started all 7 games this season. Today was the first time he didn't start, but does have 2 goals in 2017. McCabe back to Dumas. Nice little give and go. See what the Irish do. How do they approach these last 8 minutes?
Definitely not the offensive pressure they had in that 20-minute stretch after the Brennan goal, but still trying to make some chances in the offensive end and then standing tall on defense to prevent Bowling Green from tying this thing up. Just under 8 minutes left in this one. And the Irish will start to look ahead to their game at Virginia Tech. In that game last year, Brandon Aubrey had a hat trick. That was the first ACC matchup of the season last year.
Aubrey has since gone on to be drafted by Toronto in the MLS. Big boot up field. And Aubrey's fellow center back, Abrowski, there to head that one back to Hubbard.
And that was why Berneski didn't play much last year. It's because he had Brandon Aubrey ahead of him. Only 4 appearances, no goals and no assists. He's been a staple of this defense. We saw him a lot in the spring schedule in the exhibition season. He's had a good start to the year this year. A couple of slip-ups today, as he couldn't quite track a couple of balls and one misplaced header. But the center back playing across Habrowski has had a good start to the year.
Bowling Green trying to threaten. Diedrich able to step in nicely. It's a counterattack for the Irish, perhaps. All the way to Casey in the midfield. He'll play it back.
Notre Dame playing a little bit of keep away right now. Trying to have this clock read all zeros with the score the same.
Nice pass ahead to Towns, but it's a little bit out of reach from Berneski. As Bowling Green tried to take the throw in well ahead of where the ball went out of bounds.
Maycomer a little frustrated there with some of his midfielders, trying to tell him, get up, get up. We need a goal. Casey with a nice slide tackle there.
Oh, absolutely brilliant by Casey. Not only get in there with the right timing, but also to get the ball. Moth thought about the cross.
Casey's had a stellar game today with the assist, but it seems like he's been all over the field and also taken a few corners. Notre Dame had 12 on the night, did not connect on any of them. But if they keep getting that pressure on those set pieces, they're a tough team to beat.
Nice run there by Pugliese. Out wide. It's the goal scorer, Brennan. Brennan cut off. And before the contact between what looked like Brennan and Casey, Brennan will be called for the foul he committed on Diedrich.
Brennan unhappy there. The points leader for the Falcons trying to make something happen in the offensive zone, but gets a foul called on him. And that was actually him on Berneski. Berneski tried to step in, and you see how he grabbed him by the shoulders and kind of pushed him to the ground. A nice call by the head referee, Alatafa.
Yeah, good call. Berneski playing out wide there defensively. There was some awkward contact between Casey and Brennan, but that was after the whistle. Nice pass ahead to Gallagher.
Farina threading the needle there.
Gallagher had 2 men to beat. Swahi will clear it out wide. Reynolds looking for Brennan, cleared away by Abrowski.
Abrowski said, get that out of here. We have just 200 seconds left in this game. Trying not to let the Falcons tie it up. What a nice move by Maycomer.
Maycomer will cross, and Hubbard fields it with both hands. In satisfaction as the clock ticks to 3 minutes left in regulation.
And we see some Orange fans in the stands here. Not too far of a trip from Ohio. As the Bowling Green faithful cheering on Maycomer and company. Really nice job there. Able to tap it to himself and send it on net. Just not quite the cross that he wanted.
Irish perhaps trying to play a little bit of keep away with just 2.5 minutes left. They've done a terrific job passing the ball all night long.
See the difference in saves there. Bowling Green actually has 5 on the night. Wembia has been busy.
Dietrich with the throw in, and Farina so good boxing out defenders to field those throwing opportunities, but this time Swahi stepping in nicely.
And this just shows that Notre Dame has to bring it every single night. Mid-conference matchup against Bowling Green, and Farina not going to get the call there from the side referee, and Wembia is going to wind up, try to send this the other way. As a little bit of a shoulder bump by Pugliese, who's been a bit of an instigator here today. It seems that he's been at the center of a few disputes.
Started out with the bloody nose. That
was a sign of things to come
right?
early on.
Yeah. We're now under 1.5 minutes left. Mustafa will head it.
Mustafa, although he hasn't played the whole game, has been very effective while on, both in the offensive and defensive ends.
Gallagher. Now just 1 minute left. It'll be a corner. Alakafa, the head official, coming all the way over. He's been as busy as any player today. And that's a huge detriment to Bowling Green because it'll waste a lot of clock here. The Irish will take their time.
They're just going to play this one conservative, just tap it to Farina and let this clock run out. Notre Dame is going to move to 6-0 after an impressive win here today against a gritty Bowling Green squad.
Yeah, 20 seconds left now. 2 balls on the field. Bowling Green tries to kick it up. Here's Mustafa. Mustafa trying to play it ahead, and it's into the hands of Hubbard, a frustrated Keaton Reynolds. And you said it, David, the Irish survive a fiery Bowling Green team, a feisty, I should say, and they improved to 6-0 on the season.
18 shots for the Irish and 13 corners. Notre Dame had a bit of a scare as it was knotted at 1-1 for most of the second half, but the goal from Uhland was the difference. Notre Dame, #1 in the country, will focus their attention towards Virginia Tech and then Indiana. A grueling schedule coming up, but the Irish perfect so far.
The Irish are unbeaten and a successful day, the first day of being #1 in the country. So, for my Keller broadcaster, David Korzenowski, I'm Nick Baldessari saying so long from Alumni Stadium, where the final score is Notre Dame 2, Bowling Green 1. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live on the ESPN app. Or to watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Saying so long from Alumni Stadium one final time. The Irish get the victory. Gallagher and Uhland the scores.